But one thing about Michelle that annoys me that she drags all her words like this, and I don't know why she talks like this. Girl, say what you gotta say. Hey, you guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica, and this is the Jessica Diaries. Today, we are talking about episode 3 of Married at First Sight. Now, I am trying my hardest to review this season, but I have to be honest about these 3 episodes a week dropping. It's a little bit overwhelming. Reality TV is my guilty pleasure. I make content around it because it's my way to relax. I want to keep my content balance because I've seen how YouTubers who are always talking about the news, always talking about bad stuff, how it takes a toll on them mentally. And I've been there. So I wanted to review this show to have some fun, take my mind off of everything going on in the world. But these 3 episodes at a time are a little bit overwhelming. Let me know how y'all feel about Peacock dropping 3 episodes a week. On one hand, I like it because I'm very much a binge watcher of reality TV. So I let some time go by so that the episodes will, kind of pile up. But when it comes to reviewing it, I feel the pressure to watch them all, make all my notes, then film it all right when they drop. So I'm kind of trying to take my time with this. Let me know if that's good for y'all or if you're expecting the reviews right away, because I like to give thoughtful commentary, and I actually went back and watched this episode again. By the way, I've seen all the episodes as of Monday, July 27th. I've seen all of them, but I just want to kind of take my time reviewing them to make sure that I don't miss anything, because there's a lot of conversations happening around this show and people are divided. The only person that seems to be across the board getting the same amount of criticism is Mecca. But other than Mecca, people are kind of divided on the rest of the folks. I also want to note that the folks on Threads have a whole different interpretation of the show than what I'm seeing from people on YouTube. So I think that that's interesting too. I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. All that being said, if you are a Married at First Sight fan and want to keep up with my reviews, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss them when they drop. Now, this is episode 3. I watched it twice. I did watch the other episodes, like I mentioned, but I didn't make notes for them. So I'm going to try to watch those tonight and hopefully film the remaining reviews tomorrow so that I can have them all there before the next 3 drop. But anyway, let's go to the beginning of the episode and talk about I'm just going to go in chronological order of the episode. Most of what I'm talking about is going to be with Sean and Nikki, but let's just take it from the top. So the episode opens up at Nikki and Sean's wedding. Now, Nikki had a lot of people on social media mad at her for the way that she behaved, or, some of her word choice when she came down the aisle, how she was looking at Sean, how she was immediately turned off. People have had a lot to say about Nikki and her requirements and Black women and, the usual type of thing. So I would like to say that I felt like Nikki made herself look bad with that whole interaction at the beginning of the wedding. But once she started to say her vows and, once reality had set in a little bit, she started to try. She did a little better. So I'm going to give her credit for that. I think Sean knows at this point that she isn't attracted to him, but he's still being a good sport about it. He talked about how intentional he was when it came to his lifestyle and preparing for a wife. He told her he had room for her. Sean's mom brought them a broom to jump, which was cute. His mom looks great, by the way. So moving on from their wedding, we meet the final couple, Devin and Caitlin. And I just want to say, something ain't right about Caitlin. And that was my thought when I watched episode 3 before I watched Where We Are Now, which I still believe something ain't right about her. It's just something really off about her. She seems unhealed. She seems like just not happy, like not a happy person. I don't know. It's just something off about Caitlin. She mentioned how it takes her a long time to get to know someone, to warm up to them, how she likes to take things slow, and how long it takes her to feel safe. And my question is, why are you on this show? Like, why would you sign up to marry a stranger if that is how you are and that's how you approach relationships? You definitely, at all people, should not be marrying a stranger. As for the wedding, once I got into the wedding, she did talk about how her dad didn't want to walk her down the aisle. He's very much a traditional man. So when he got up and continuously made these speeches about him and how he was feeling about it, he just made everything about him. It annoyed me so bad. He wasn't as bad as Mecca's dad, but he was extremely annoying. It was too much. And I just felt like if you didn't care enough to walk her down the aisle, why are you standing up making these speeches? On one hand, I do get it because he's a dad. Dads are a certain way about their daughters. And it could seriously have been uncomfortable for him to watch his daughter walk down the aisle marrying a stranger. Is reality TV. So everybody is not like starstruck by cameras, or everybody doesn't think that that's cool or exciting. Some people take everything they do in life really serious. Her dad comes off like that, but I still feel like he made it about him. If you cared so much, you should have supported your daughter and what she wanted to do, and seen it maybe as a failing of your parenting, that she felt like she had to marry a stranger instead of just making it about you and your approval. But I will say this. I appreciated his conversation with Devin because he told him, right, take care of my daughter. This is my baby. I ain't with this. So I want to give him grace and try to understand like his point of view, but it's really not about him. It's about Caitlyn. So that was just really annoying to me. So we go to Michelle and Cameron's wedding. More terrible speeches. That's what I have in my notes. I feel like a lot of these wedding speeches were just weird and not amusing, not anything that a stranger wants to hear when they're marrying someone that you're speaking about. But I will say that Cameron's friends had good things to say about him. And I feel like that probably went a long way with Michelle. Cameron didn't seem amused by Michelle's brother's speech. He did make it seem like she was kind of a party animal, and Cameron is super stiff and just rigid. But from there, we go back to Nikki and Sean's wedding. Nikki's friends are telling her how good her and Sean look together. She quickly changed the subject, like, I'm not trying to hear that. They also asked her if she would be open to intimacy. She said no and wants to take it slow. And again, with all of these women from Belle Jolie, Nikki, Caitlyn, how are you going to take something slow if you married a stranger? What is marriage to y'all? If you feel like you need to take something slow after you have said your vows, like none of that makes sense. None of that makes sense. Mecca and these painted nails. So we go to their wedding, Belle Jolie and Mecca, and it's obvious that she's extremely attracted to him. But I don't know if Mecca is attracted to her in the same. Of course, again, this is episode 3, so we've learned some things since then. But at this point, it was kind of obvious that he may not have really been all that into her, because he didn't give her a lot of compliments. He just didn't seem very husbandly. It seemed very much like, I'm meeting this girl and she's cool, and we're gonna spend a couple days together. It doesn't give that he's even serious about marriage. Mecca's dad really liked Belle Jolie and her family. I think we've all talked a lot about him and his speech and how he was conducting himself. I cannot believe that he actually talked about sexual things with his son at that wedding. Very, very inappropriate. And Mecca, you can see that he turns into a little boy around his dad. And can you blame him with a dad like that big, loud personality saying whatever is on his mind? You just see the little boy in Mecca come out when he's around his dad. So Courtney and Nick's wedding, we see a little bit of that. Nick's friends reassure Courtney about his reality TV past, because after hearing that he'd been on all these reality shows, she started to have some doubts, which she was already worried about if he would want to stay with her anyway. So that didn't do anything to help. From there, we go to Tori and Felipe. They had a moment with the cake. He was talking about how in Brazilian tradition, you give a piece of the wedding cake to the person that's most important to you or something like that. He gives Tori his cake because Tori is now his wife. And his mom seemed a little disappointed by that, which kind of threw me off a little bit because she seemed like she liked Tori so much. But he did mention during his interview that if mom doesn't like this woman, it's not going to work. Like, that's how important his mom is to him. I just felt like she visibly showed that she was disappointed that Tori got the cake. But Tori then turned around and gave it to his mom. So that made everybody smile and they had this sweet moment. And some people have been talking about that in the YouTube reviews. I don't think it was anything other than maybe Tori wanted to be in the mom's good graces. And I probably also feeling like, yeah, I know we're married, but we also don't know each other. So there's no way that I could realistically be the most important person to you. I know you just gave me that because I'm your wife. Get that cake to your mama. I feel like it was that type of thing. But what y'all think? Some folks are, not understanding why Tori would do that. We go back to Nikki and Sean, and I put not him singing to her to bring her to the dance floor. Sean is just full of jokes and innuendos, things that he definitely means and hides behind jokes. I was totally shocked that Nikki allowed him to pull the garter from her. Like that, I couldn't believe that she went along with it. Now, in some of the scenes after that, she did seem like she may still be a little bit uncomfortable, and she was just trying to be a good sport. And I wish that we could really get into her head at that wedding to see what was going through her head, because she's very much giving mixed signals. Like, she's down with some of the stuff that he wants to do, kind of chuckling along with his jokes, but then she looks like she's terrified when she's by herself and they're getting that B-roll of her. So I don't know. Nikki, we know that she's not attracted to Sean at this point, but she's still trying. So that means something. It's just really hard to kind of know exactly where her head is. So we go to Marissa and Adam. Marissa was getting all the tea on Adam and things from his friends. They're telling her about his jet ski obsession. They're talking about him being funny. I can't see it. I don't see how he's funny. I don't know what the correct term is in white people speak, but he kind of comes off like a bro, or what I think a bro would mean. When white people are talking about, oh, you're such a bro, Adam just kind of gives bro to me. So Caitlin and Devin, we are at their reception. Their reception looked like it was lots of fun. They seem to have some very natural interactions with one another. Her daddy comes up again about this speech and how he wasn't coming. And I'm like, sir, why are you doing this? I get that he's trying to let Caitlin know that he approves, but it's just too much after the other stuff that he did. Standing up right before they're about to exchange vows. He just keeps interrupting things. I just feel like if you want to talk about how this process was for you and you want to let your daughter know that you approve of it now because you've met him, just say that when they're together. You don't have to constantly make these speeches and just get all the eyes on you. And her dad mentioned how traditional he is. So, of course, that means Caitlin grew up in that environment. So when Devin mentioned that he is not a traditional man, I thought that that was very interesting. And I'm starting to believe, like, I see some of the reasons why these people may have been paired, but I'm seeing a lot of mismatches as well. And I don't, I'm not a marriage matchmaking expert, but just from what I'm seeing, these don't seem to be good personality matches. And it makes me wonder, are these matches for the sake of the show and entertainment, or are you really trying to help these people find spouses? Because I haven't watched this show in years. I mentioned in my first the episode 1 review that I hadn't watched this before I was married. So a lot may have changed, but I just feel like now it's all about ratings. It's beginning to be like that. Especially if the production company is anything close to who produced Love Island. But I digress. Courtney and Nick, Courtney still talking about the reality show. She talked to her parents about Nick. She asked them about what they thought about him, what they thought about the reality shows. Then we go to the car ride. So at this point, all of the weddings are done. The couples are going to the hotel before they get ready for their honeymoon. Mecca and I'm calling her BJ, Belle Jolie. Mecca and Belle Jolie talk about their different issues. So Mecca says straight up, I have mommy issues. Belle Jolie is like straight up, I have daddy issues. That is a very bad combination. I just see that being a storm for those two. If Mecca could actually take it seriously, because at this point it doesn't seem like he's really taking this marriage seriously. And I feel like Belle Jolie is kind of going along to get along, and she's not really being assertive about what she wants and what she needs from him. And she's trying, but he's not really, to me, I just haven't seen him move into a husband mentality. He's very much just having a good time, or so it seems. During that car ride, he talked about being estranged from not just his mom, but his whole maternal family, all of his family members and his other siblings, and how sad it was. He said that it was sad. So that, I don't know, that could be a signal that there may be some things there that he needs to work through before marrying a stranger. I don't know why the matchmakers didn't try to give him that type of therapy. I would think that if they see red flag areas, they would try to counsel these people, but I haven't seen that. And I'm wondering just how much is going to play a role in their marriage, because Belle Jolie doesn't talk about her daddy issues in the same way and with the same emotion that Mecca talks about his mommy issues. So I'm wondering how this is going to play for him as his reality sets in, because I don't think reality has really set into him yet that he is a husband. And I think he was just kind of divulging all the information because he was drunk. He looked so drunk, but it was honest. And I think it was some things that Belle Jolie needed to hear that she could be aware of and take into consideration as they progress in their relationship. So we go back to Cameron and Michelle. Cameron is there on their car ride. He's sounding like Caitlyn talking about how he enjoys his personal space and how big of a challenge it's going to be for him to share space with Michelle. And during that time, he also revealed that he had been in a long-term relationship before, not one that was longer than 6 months. And he said that, he has his picky ways and he can be picky with women. People are saying that that's a red flag from Cameron. And I get why him not being in a long-term relationship might come off as a red flag. But I'm also trying to consider his career and him being an athlete. Most of the time, athletes are either locked in with one woman really strong, or they're whores, or they're not dating seriously at all. So to me, it wasn't really that big of a red flag that he hasn't been in a long-term relationship. But Michelle kind of thought it was, and she did speak her piece about, well, now I'm worried that you might be nitpicky with me because you've never lived with a woman, you've never had a long-term relationship. So, that kind of concerns me. And after they kind of had that exchange, I felt like the energy between them got awkward and their body language wasn't the warmest. But again, this is their first car ride. This is their first moments alone. So it could have been some nerves there as well. So Courtney and Nick, they make it to the hotel. Nick asked her what she thought about the day. She shared how everyone liked him. He said that he felt good. But I want to say Courtney took her makeup off and she looked like a ghost. And you could see Nick's looking up like from the scene, like, damn, is that what she looked like? Like he was really looking. She had me really questioning her age. Ain't no way I'm closer in age to Nikki than I am Courtney. She looked older than both of us. Courtney needs to take a chill pill though, because she's talking about him being bored. Courtney's already worried about him being bored. And they were just acting so weird and awkward in the hotel. And I don't know, like, number one, Courtney's energy is through the roof. Nick seems more laid back, which that type of relationship can work. But Courtney seems like through her energy is through the roof, like in a jittery way. Like she might need something to help her calm down a little bit. Cause even you just made it to the hotel with your spouse. that you've known for every bit of 3, 4 hours, and you're worried about him getting bored. Ma'am, tell him about yourself. Tell him what you like to do. Ask him questions. Why are y'all acting so awkward? So Mecca and Belle Jolie make it to their hotel. Mecca asks her about any fears that she has. She asks him the same. So they're talking over their fears. I think they have a really, really good chemistry and they seem to be pretty comfortable with one another, although I can't tell just how much Mecca is feeling her or not feeling her. And she's on the other hand, like feeling like, oh, I'm ready to give in. Like I'm ready to be intimate and I'm trying to fight these feelings. And she keeps talking about building a friendship. And I'm like, Belle Jolie, y'all are married, baby. There's nothing in life that you can do with another person that's going to be more sacred than getting married. Why are you dragging this taking it slow friendship thing? Like, and I don't know if like in hindsight she's saying it because he's kind of holding back and maybe that's making her feel like, what should I do? And it's safer to just take the friendship route. I don't know. They're throwing me off with the transition from, hey, we just met to now we're husband and wife and let's talk about how we're going to live our life together. They just seem, and it could be their youth. It could be their youth, but it just, I don't know if they understand what they did. I'm going to just leave it at that. So Adam and Marissa are in the hotel. I feel like Adam should have just married himself. He doesn't really seem all that interested in Marissa. She's asking lots of questions about him. He's not really asking her anything. So Sean and Nikki, we make it to their hotel. He asked her if she wanted him to sleep on the couch, and she said no, he could sleep in the bed, but keep that shirt on. I was like, this woman is crazy. She told him to keep his shirt on. Now, I get it. She's not physically attracted to him. He's a stranger. But Nikki, how you gonna tell the man to keep his shirt on? Now he did ask. He asked, so I guess, but I don't know how I would have felt about that if I was Sean. But I noticed that when she was talking to him, like, turn the heat on, she's like talking in this whiny voice. And it kind of gives that Nikki's going to be bossing him around. Like she's giving boss energy. Like, I'm going to tell you what to do what I say, and all will be well. That's how she's coming off to me. This is when Sean makes a joke about the temperature being 69 and it was his favorite position. He was obviously joking, but he's still serious at the same time. Like I said with him, a lot of his jokes have truth to them. But it wasn't the time for that type of joking, especially because of how she seemed so uncomfortable at the wedding. But then again, from Sean's point of view, she might not have been uncomfortable at all because she was allowing him to do the garter thing and she would give him a little kiss there. So she's giving him these mixed signals. So maybe he thought it was okay to joke about it. He's getting a lot of heat online for his jokes, and rightfully so. They are a little bit much. But at the same time, it does appear that she'll kiss him and she'll, be, kind of like she's trying to be lovey dovey with him, and then she'll pull it all away. So that might just kind of be hard for him to read. I don't know. And then she said, hey, 69 is my favorite position too, but we're going to engage in some intimacy later. So again, I don't know. Like she seemed with it sometimes and then she's not. But I want to say this about the intimacy because this has kind of been annoying me a lot with this show, that everyone, the women specifically, keeps talking about taking it slow and intimacy comes later. And this, like, y'all marry a stranger. Are you telling me that sexual intimacy is on a higher level than marriage? It shows to me that the way that they are stressing this, it shows to me an understanding of what marriage is, a lack of understanding around marriage. And also, it kind of flips the concept of the show on its head because in a traditional marriage, you consummate your marriage after you've, had your wedding or whatever. And so with them kind of acting like, oh, you got to earn this and I don't know you. Well, why would you marry them? If you feel like that about intimacy, then you should have gone the traditional route. Like, or just got a matchmaker. Why would you go to level 100 and get married? That's the thing that's kind of annoying me. But at the same time, I do understand where it's coming from because no, you wouldn't just hop into bed with somebody that you met. Like, I get it. But again, should you be marrying them? Like, I don't know. It's just crazy. But we watching it, we talking about it. It's entertaining, whatever. I just feel like it shows an extreme lack of understanding around what marriage is, how much you should respect it, how sacred it is. It's not something that you should just try out. It is a covenant. You know, it's a big deal. So that whole thing that they're trying to do is just really annoying for me. Now, when Nikki was taking her makeup off, Sean asked her for a kiss and she was like, let's hold off on it. We've been kissing enough. We don't need to kiss every 5 minutes. I agree with her on that. You ain't got to do all that. We just met. But again, it's like you this man's wife. He should be able to just walk up and kiss you however many times he wants. And you should love it. But you married a stranger. Sean makes a joke about thanking her for her generosity and letting him sleep in the bed. And again, he knows that she's not feeling him like that. So he was being sarcastic, but you could tell he meant every single word. He's basically saying, you're calling the shots and thank you for allowing me to sleep in the bed. He was being very sarcastic and I can tell. Again, I've watched the rest of the episode, so I already know where it's going, but I can tell that now he's feeling like, okay, she's rejecting me physically. She's not sexually attracted to me. Fine, that'll grow. But what you're not gonna do is boss me around. I feel like that may be a wall that he might be putting up or a boundary that he might be putting up because he's like, hey, this is my experience too. We in this together and you can't just call the shots. You done told me I can't kiss you. You done told me to put a shirt on in the bed. Now you're saying it's okay for me to sleep in the bed. Thank you. But you know what I'm saying? Do you get where I'm coming from with that? Because he made it clear, like, I don't expect anything to happen with us. Like, I'm making that very clear. I have no expectations. I hope that she gets that. But, you know, I don't think Sean is really reading the room and kind of I don't think he's putting himself in Nikki's position because women are different. We are different. Like, yes, you can make jokes. Yes, I might be overreacting, but at the same time, as a woman, I just need to feel comfortable for certain things to fly. And when I'm trying to be comfortable, but you keep pressing it and pressing it, is only going to make me pull back some more. I don't think Sean understands that part. And if he doesn't get his joking under control, that is going to continue to be an issue for them where she's feeling like he's coming on too strong and he feels like he's not getting anything or he's getting mixed signals. They're going to have to figure out some type of way to communicate what they need and what they want and what's okay, and but also giving room to grow naturally and let things be organic. They just need to chill. They just both need to chill out and relax. Okay, relax. So we go to Kaylin and Devin. You can tell that they're mutually attracted to one another. I think Kaylin's attracted to Devin as much as he is about her. He said that he thinks that she's adorable and dainty. She says that, look, I don't see yellow or red flags, which means that Devin seems great to her. Now, she changed her tune in the following episodes, but right then in that moment, I really felt like, okay, these two are going to be great. They're going to probably be one of the top couples. I don't feel like that now. But at that point, episode 3, I really was feeling it about them. So we go to Cameron and Michelle at the hotel room. Michelle brings up him not being in a long-term relationships again to get more clarity. He said that that's not who I am. And I don't know what he meant by that. Like, I guess he was just saying that doesn't define me as a man or define who I would be in a relationship. But I just didn't want to hide that from you. So he just wanted to be open and upfront with her. I don't know if it would have made a difference because she signed up to marry you. So why would you need to hide that you weren't in a long-term relationship before? You don't have to hide it, but you don't necessarily have to bring it up either. But I guess, I don't know, this is a conversation that probably would have come up like previous relationships. I don't know. I just feel like that was being made like a bigger deal than it probably should be. That might come back and bite me later in the season, but Michelle should just kind of relax around it. She talked about being a relationship girl. She just always went for the wrong type. Um, and she feels optimistic. Um, Cameron did tell her that, she was a catch, that she was beautiful. So I could see them if they can just get through these beginning days, the little awkward moments that they might be having. I think that they'll be okay. But the one thing about Michelle that annoys me that she drags all her words like this, and I don't know why she talks like this. Girl, say what you gotta say. You dragging it. Speed it up. Can you just get through the word? Last thing we see in this episode is Tori and Felipe. Tori keeps bringing up in this hotel room while they're, preparing for their first night together before they go off on the honeymoon. She keeps bringing up how hot he is, and I'm like, is the hot man in the room with us? What about Felipe is hot? I just don't see it. But she also talks about how she's getting ready for bed. And it feels like a foreign feeling to be getting ready for bed with someone else. And she's never felt that feeling before. So, of course, reality's setting in for her. She's still very guarded when it comes to him. On the other hand, he ready to risk it all. He feels like he hit the lottery, his words, not mine. He wants her to fall for him. He feels really vulnerable. She said the day was perfect. So I don't know. Maybe they're going to work out. Um, we see some things kind of were revealed during these next episodes. So things are going to change a little bit between them. That's all that I have for episode 3. Let me know what you all think about this episode in the comment section. I'll be back with episode review 4 through 6. I think, honestly, I'm just going to do it all in one video. I hope the video is not too long, but I just feel like that's the best way to do it, because if they're dropping 3 at a time, I might do better just watching all 3 and doing a video like that, because it feels kind of weird to be talking about this episode and I've watched the other ones, and I don't know. But I just filmed this review because I said I was reviewing this show and I do not want to miss an upload. So yay for me for getting this done, even though it's late. But let me know how you are enjoying the season so far, and I'll see you in the next video.